One scientific epoch ended and another began with James Clerk Maxwell. One should not pursue goals that are easily achieved. One must develop an instinct for what one can just barely achieve through one's greatest efforts. One strength of the communist system of the East is that it has some of the character of a religion and inspires the emotions of a religion. One thing I have learned in a long life, that all our science, measured against reality, is primitive and childlike, and yet it is the most precious thing we have. Only a life lived in the service to others is worth living. Only the one who does not question is safe from making a mistake. Order is needed by the ignorant, but it takes a genius to master chaos. Organized people are just too lazy to go looking for what they want. Our brains read things, just like the happy squirrel sitting on a pond. Our death is not an end if we can live on in our children and the younger generation. For they are us, our bodies are only wilted leaves on the tree of life. Our separation from each other is an optical illusion. Our situation on this earth seems strange. Every one of us appears here involuntarily and uninvited for a short stay, without knowing the whys and the wherefore. Our task as humans is to widen our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Our task must be to free ourselves, by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. Out of clutter, find simplicity. Paper is to write things down that we need to remember. Our brains are used to think. You'll just never know, so many emotions I choose not to show. Past is dead, future is uncertain, present is all you have, so eat, drink and live merry. Peace is not merely the absence of war but the presence of justice, of law, of order, in short, of government. People like you and me never grow old. We never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born. People love chopping wood. In this activity one immediately sees results. Philosophers play with the word, like a child with a doll. It does not mean that everything in life is relative. Play is the highest form of research. Politics is for the moment and equation is for eternity. Primitive religions are based entirely on fear. Problems cannot be solved at the same level of awareness that created them. Problems cannot be solved with the same mindset that created them. Production. Their difficulties were overcome only when it was successfully established that, for any given amount of heat produced by friction, Pure logical thinking cannot yield us any knowledge of the empirical world. All knowledge of reality starts from experience and ends in it. Put your hand on a hot stove for a minute, and it seems like an hour. Sit with a pretty girl for an hour, and it seems like a minute. That's relativity. You have to learn the rules of the game. And then you have to play better than anyone else. You don't have to understand the world. You just have to find your own way around in it. Your imagination is your preview of life's coming attractions.